armed forces as they continue to show a lot of marvel, really, to these thousands of individuals who are gathered here. I must say as well that security apparatus up to the level as expected, but like you mentioned, a host of dignitaries as well gracing the occasion. There's been different displays, cultural displays, and the like. The president is there to speak as there are still a lot more displays before he will address the entire country. We were here during the rehearsals, and so we have a fair idea of what is left before the president will speak. And so that's what is really happening here at this particular time. And so we'll continue to move the students live from Adaklu here at the youth sport complex in the Volta region. I must say that there are lots of people here, Martin. Outside of the sports complex, I've been talking about how the place is busy. There are people who are still trying to come around, and the entire place is choked. They cannot be able to get access to it. See exactly what is happening. It's been announced that the final display from the aquatic team is to start, and that's what we're waiting for in the last few minutes. Pretty shortly, we can be able to. We will get some live feed as well from us here, and we have live feed now, and so now there's that bit of acrobatic display. You can hear it because there's a ring of fire where the personnel from the Ghana Armed Forces are now doing loops through that ring of fire, much to the excitement of the crowd as they continue to cheer them on. And so that's exactly what's happening here at this particular point, Martin. And it's been a wonderful display in the last 3 to 4 hours since we've been here. Different individuals, the students have marched, and now the acrobatics team of the Ghana Armed Forces, they are taking center stage, allowing the many individuals who come. There have been chiefs, there have been dignitaries, students, and you can hear the cheers again as people continue to express excitement as to what exactly they've been seeing in the last few minutes from personnel of the Ghana Armed Forces. That ring of flame is going to be doused pretty shortly. But if you can see for yourself, the live feed now coming to from the youth sport complex here at Adaklu, as the personnel from the acrobatics team of the Ghana Armed Forces wrap up their bit of the display, and then they can make way for the helicopters that will come around, and then there will be the display of armory from the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana Armed Forces, personnel from the immigration will come around as well. Then, as well, the will be as well. And so that's currently what's happening here. You're hearing the applause from the background. These individuals or these persons who are gathered here are really excited, Martin.
Right. I mean, clearly we are also seeing some of the visuals on our screens at the moment, enjoying what exactly the numbers or the hundreds who've gathered there at the Adaklu Youth Center are also observing. And there is also the display of regalia and royalty, as is on our screen now. We can see a number of people who've come to the occasion in beautiful traditional outfits. But Egbeta, in the build-up to today's event, what have the citizens there been telling you as regards their preparation and expectation? Then you can also tell us about the reception that the president received when he got to the area.
Well, I'll start off from the reception that the president received. It was rousing. It was really rousing, Martin, when he made his way through, particularly when he was led in by a team of horses and the like, which went before him. And he didn't come from the top of the vehicle, but he was waving from the window side, and there were loud cheers from the thousands, young and old, who were really excited to be a part of the experience and to see the president in person. That formed a part of the expectation to which we've seen a lot of them actually come around this place. And I mentioned that earlier, that there are still lots of people who are trying to make their way to this place to be a part of the experience. Those form the basis of the expectation. And many of these people, they've never seen the independence celebrations close to them. They've seen it on TV, they've seen it from afar, always on television, but never in person, really, Martin. And so for them to be a part of an experience like this is one that they would cherish dearly. I've seen people, even as late as yesterday, at about 8 p.m., just before we left this place, when accreditation was handed out to the media and then final touches were being put in place, there were children walking around with their parents, taking pictures of the entire place, wanting to live the moment and live the experience as much as they can before all of this starts. And so the expectation of town, we've interacted with people since we landed on Thursday, and it's just been a lot of excitement and wanting to be a part of history where the rich culture of the region will be displayed largely for all to see in this part of the region. And that's been largely the expectation for the people. And it continues to be one of excitement because it appears that the expectations are being met. They've seen the president, they've seen the Ghana Armed Forces, they've seen personnel from Immigration Service who've been present in town, the motorcade, and the motorcade which lead the president as well. They, as you know it, if you're from Accra, you're very familiar when they are leading the president's convoy. They tend to do a lot of displays, standing on the motorbikes and doing some displays. Now it's the turn of the Ghana Armed Forces who are now coming to do their display, and it continues to be a mesmerizing moment for these personnel or these individuals who've come in. And so now the helicopters will begin to come in now. I can see them from where I am as we are meandering around, and they'll begin to touch base on the ground pretty shortly. But as you can see in your shot, personnel from the Ghana Armed Forces now taking turn to wow the thousands of crowds. I must mention that we're expecting, or the expectation is that more than 5,000 persons are here. It's dumped network signals in the last few hours a bit, and so if you're here receiving messages on a popular platform like WhatsApp, it's a difficulty, but that's been resolved a bit. And so it eased up a bit, but close and over 5,000 really persons here to witness and be a part of this particular celebration. And if you can see the man just in your shot, he is going to be giving the signal to the helicopter, which is now headed towards this place pretty shortly. In about a minute or so, we'll be seeing that in our shots as well. And so it's been a beautiful display in the last 2-3 hours since we've been here. The president arrived a little after 9, and it's been display after display. There were displays from the cultural troops from the various 16 regions, which was climaxed by the Volta region, and they took a while because it is their celebration really. But you can begin to hear the helicopter coming now this way here to the youth sport complex here at Adaklu, and you can begin to see it in your shot now as they are coming down. There'll be K9 units as well, which will accompany them as they make their way here. And that's the helicopter of the Ghana Air Force coming around, and then they'll be slowing down. There'll be slowing down where the men will come down, and so those are the ropes. And then they'll come down. The wind as strong as you know from the chopper, it's around. The minute to come down now. The minute to come down now. Helicopter, a lot of them there are asking you for something there. But that's what it does. The Ghana Air Force taking the politics, the and they're taking some to leave the moment of
Eric, I'm sure. Eric, I think because of the the noise of the helicopter, it's making you really scream at the top of your voice so we can hear you. Maybe you want to hold on a bit so we can enjoy those visuals. Then when the helicopter leaves, you can we'll come back to you to give us a quick wrap of what to expect now that this has happened. So for those of you watching on your screens at home now, these soldiers are just rappelling from the helicopter that is dropping them. So this is just a simulation exercise of what happens when the soldiers need to, for instance, go for a rescue mission, or there is a situation where they necessarily must go there and drop men to the ground because there may not be access routes for them to try and salvage the situation. So that is the process they go through. When they all land, then they take their positions in coordinated fashion before they can now take action or move based on the orders of the commanding officer. So these are scenes from the 66th anniversary of Ghana's independence, which is currently ongoing in the Volta region. And like Eric Mawene-Egbeta, my colleague, indicated, there are about 5,000 in excess of people who have thronged the area to appreciate the displays that have gone by, some from school children. Now we are seeing the Ghana Armed Forces also exhibiting what they are made of: strength, talent, will, hard work, and these are men we depend on for the protection of the country, and looks as though they are just giving us a taste of what they usually go through in case they need to be deployed for special missions. So let's keep enjoying. Now that the helicopter is out of the way, maybe we can go and wrap it up quickly with Eric Mawene-Egbeta. So Eric, per the itinerary, at what point is the president expected to address the country? All right, unfortunately, that connection to Eric Mawene-Egbeta has gone off. And like you heard him say as well, because of the numbers that had gathered at that particular area, there is a network challenge. So receiving messages and making calls, or even getting your call to go through, has been quite a challenge. So we're actually even fortunate to be able to connect to him. But we'll be, bringing you some of those images intermittently to also appreciate what is going on. And then later in the bulletin, we'll let you know exactly when the president is about to address the nation the 66th independence anniversary. Meanwhile, there have been calls for Ghana to scrap the holding of such events and celebrate independence, and of celebrating independence, rather channel the resources into putting up meaningful projects. Let's delve deeper into this conversation and find out really why is this becoming a part of the national discourse. Shouldn't we be marking or celebrating such a day? And if so, how should we mark it so it doesn't become just a regular, ordinary day? Joining us via Zoom is Professor Agyeman-Duah, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the John Kufuor Foundation and also a governance consultant. Prof, a very good afternoon to you, and thank you for joining us on Midday Live.
So it's a pleasure to be with you.
Right, and I think I should also mention that happy anniversary to you as well, as we celebrate
the pilots in the Z9 aircraft
our Independence Day.
I wish you
and squadron leader Samuel Jan Opong.
All right.
The technicians on board were.
So to start with, I'm sure you have followed this conversation of whether or not we need to celebrate or mark this day and how it should be marked. What are your initial thoughts on the conversation in the first place? Should we even be talking about it, that there's a lot more to focus on than to expend money in marking such a day?
Well, I think this issue has arisen only because of the unique economic situation that we find ourselves. We all know that our economy is not the best we can have, and therefore people are frustrated. That's why I think they are questioning the celebration of our independence. But seriously, I don't think we should gloss over the fact that Ghana got its independence 6th of March 1957. It's the most historic moment in our life as a nation, and it deserves some celebration. Since 1957 with Kwame Nkrumah, every subsequent president has celebrated this nation in this kind of fashion. Of course, on Independence Day, when the military parades and shows off its hardware bit and marching and all that, for the soldiers, this is something they always look up to. They want to be part of that. If you talk to soldiers who are usually part of these marches, I have a friend who used to command the parade at the Independence Square. And when he talks to me about the joy that the soldiers have, look, you don't mess with that. But having said, it is also true to say that we are facing difficulties. One thing I can also question is, I'm not even sure if we did not celebrate it, whether that money for the celebration would have been diverted to a productive kind of venture. So that's another issue. But on a more serious note, though, I think we can reformulate how we celebrate it. The marching is good, especially for the soldiers, and maybe for the children. But I wish there was an intellectual component to these celebrations. This is a day that I wish in all regional capitals there are big lectures, public lectures, relating our history, the significance or lack of it, the problem that we have faced as a people, and how we go forward. You know, these kinds of discussions, I'm sure, will have given Ghanaians some kind of enlightenment on our history and how we came to where we are and where we move on from here. That component has always been missing. Mere celebrations, as I think we have seen over the years, I don't think it's sufficient. We need to do something more substantive. I'm not even sure how in our schools, how our kids are taught on this day. The significance of it, those who are behind it, and all. That for me is the main issue of concern too.
I may be young in age compared to you, respectfully, and then also in the last few years of being in school and getting out, usually you just are told the history of those who fought for independence of the country from the British, and then it goes quiet until we start hearing that 6th March is coming. That is the day we mark Independence Day. Then there is an anniversary parade like we are witnessing today, and then that's it. You are asking for some intellectual component of marking the day. How do you mean exactly? Maybe you can give us a little more detail to that.
Yeah, maybe the word intellectual is the wrong word to use in this kind of context. All I meant to say was that there must be an educational component. I think that's perhaps preferable. In other words, our school children, the public at large, can be educated on the significance of this day, the challenges we have faced as a nation, and how we move forward as a nation. Rightly, we have some serious challenges today as we speak. The economy is not the best. Politically, we are a divided nation. On and on, I can recount them. These should be issues that should be brought to the attention of the general public. And I think if such seminars were organized in the schools prior to today's event, it would have given better education, better enlightenment to our people. Also, maybe singling out 6th of March and celebrating it might not even be adequate. Maybe a couple of weeks towards the day, our schools should hold debates and discussions. There should be public lectures on independence and blah, 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 blah. We know we have problems, you see. So I think if we really bring the educational component to this day, it will make it more meaningful. So that even if we are spending money on such debates, for me, it's more productive than simply spending money on school kids who are marching in the heat of the sun.
Right, and my last question on this would be, there are those who are also saying, for instance, that we need to have something physical, some physical structure or monument to mark the various days, where, for instance, today in the Volta region, something more physical will be seen and left to show that on this day, this is how we marked it in this place or this part of the country. What are your thoughts on this? And in that same vein, what suggestions would you make?
Look, this is a wonderful idea. In fact, when President Akufo-Addo introduced the idea of rotating the celebration around the regions, I thought it was an excellent idea. Because, you see, we have made Accra as if Accra is Ghana. And Accra is not Ghana. Accra is just one city in the country. And these celebrations take place only in Accra all this while, neglecting the other parts of the country. So I like the idea of rotating it. Secondly, when it was announced, my expectation is exactly what you said. that maybe if we did the roster of which city is going to host it over the next 10 years, for instance, then each of these regional centers can be planned in such a way that by the time the celebration gets there, maybe their main roles, if they are not paid, they are paid. If they don't have a public gallery, maybe it's done. You know, so that people will take that as something, a practical symbolism for celebrating the independence of the country. That will be another way of bringing, if you like, bringing some kind of development to areas that have been neglected all these years. In fact, I think if you go to Ho today, if it wasn't for the celebration, maybe that part, the stadium where they're having this, would have been overgrown with weeds. Maybe streets were not clean and blah, blah. We can say so many things. But if this is coming, and because of this, the government has spent some resources beautifying the city of Ho, for that matter, any other city where we have it, I think, again, that will be more meaningful to people than the mere group matches that we have.
Thank you so much, as always, for your thoughts on these very national issues. Professor Bafo Agyeman-Duah is the Chief Executive Officer of the Kufuor Foundation and also a governance consultant and expert. Always a pleasure talking to you. You're still watching Midday Live on TV3, special anniversary version coming to you from our studio here at Adesawe in Accra. Talking about the Independence Day celebrations, though, former President John Dramani Mahama declined to be part of the Independence Day celebration in Ho, accusing the organizers of turning the occasion into a political party jamboree. The former president has instead taken to social media advising Ghanaians to eschew greed and divisiveness as the country marks its 66th Independence Day from colonial rule.
I just came from the Volta region, and just when I was leaving, they were preparing to celebrate the Independence Day. I stopped going to the Independence Day because it's become a party jamboree. I went to Tamale. They told GBC to take the camera off me. They bussed their supporters in and filled the whole stadium. When I got into the stadium, the place was quiet. I went and sat. They gave me some corner somewhere and went and sat there. And they occupied the days. And any of them who came in, hey, hey. And I said, I don't want to be part of this party jamboree. Independence is a solemn national celebration. We used to celebrate it at the Independence Square. And everybody wanted to come. Today they bus their supporters in. They have party flags. They are wearing party t-shirts. I don't want to be part of a party jamboree. Nkrumah got us independence. I'm an Nkrumahist. I will attend an Independence Day any day if it's not hijacked by one party. Because it should be a national day for all of us. So I'm not going to be in Ho because I don't want to be part of an MPP jamboree. You watch what will happen. So bus their people in and occupy that whole place.
Right, so those are the thoughts of former President John Dramani Mahama, who has given reason why he has decided to boycott the Independence Day celebration in the Volta regional capital of Ho. Meanwhile, he has also been speaking on Ghana's decision to go to the IMF, and he says the move for an IMF program could delay further because of the poor condition of the entire process. The 2024 NDC presidential hopeful says not even government's decision to go on bended knees for debt cancellation from China can fast-track the process. He wants the process to be clean, clear, and the commitment towards the expenditure cuts by government to be visible for all to see, which he says will inspire confidence among Ghanaians, especially our external creditors. He was speaking at the NDC's Professional Forum Dinner and Awards Night in Accra.
If you had consulted from the beginning and gotten advice, by now we would have finished that debt restructuring. You kept shifting the date, You say by end of February you would have the domestic debt restructuring. End of February you haven't got it. And by the time you finish it, go to China and fall on your knees and beg China for debt forgiveness. By the time you finish all that, have external debt restructuring. There's no way you can meet the IMF board meeting in April. We're already in March. And if you don't meet it in April, it's going to get worse, because then the next board meeting is in June, July. You have no source of additional foreign exchange coming in. And so we're in a very dire situation. And that's why he's begging Germany and everybody to beg everybody so that we'll get the board meeting in April. But they too are not fools, because you cannot shortchange everybody, ask them to forgive your debt, and then 2022 to 2023, your budget goes up by 82 billion. Are you serious? So you are not ready to cut anything. And there's no way those guys are going to allow you to have the latitude to spend 15 million Ghana cedis on ties and batteries. And then you're asking them to take a haircut on their independent power producers, 30% haircut on their independent power producers and on their international debt. And then you can spend 15 million Ghana cedis on ties and batteries. I mean, it's just a comedy.
That is former President John Dramani Mahama. You're still watching Midday Live on TV3 special Independence Day anniversary broadcast coming to you from our studio here at Adesanwe in Accra. We actually have a major challenge because I'm sure those of you watching the Independence Day parade would have expected a smooth transmission. However, Ghana Broadcasting Corporation's transmission station in Ho has been gutted by fire. At least that's information we've gathered, which is part of the reasons why we seem to be having a challenge with a smooth transition mission of the event from the capital of the Volta region. The transmission point serves the radio station, Volta Star, and GBC's terrestrial TV channels. And this occurred during the transmission of the live coverage of the National Independence Day anniversary. So on your screens now are some of the images we got when the fire service personnel got there to try and douse the fire and ensure that we're able to salvage the rest of the property and get back the transmission as quickly as possible.
I received a call from my security that the place is on fire. That is our TV transmitter station, the DBT site. It's very unfortunate that it's happening on the day of independence, where the people of Volta region must witness those who cannot be at the venue to watch. But there was a fault which we worked on yesterday, and this morning the stored batteries from the solar system caught fire, and we had to call on fire service to come and help us quench the fire as we see how we can better restore TV transport to the region.
So as you are speaking with us now, are you sure the fire service are having the power to do so?
Yes.
Or as they are currently grappling with the situation?
Yes, they came using fire, it was not working, and they used the foam too, it was not working. You have to use all our fire extinguishers that contain the CO2, which I believe they are using now. The whole place is a stored battery charge in a container, so you can get electrocuted too. So we are going their way around it to seize the fire.
Thank you very much.
And that is the head of engineering and then transmission at the GBC offices in the Volta region, updating us on what exactly caused that fire that hit the transmission of the national broadcaster. Our Volta regional correspondent Robert Abilba has joined us via phone for an update on this particular development. Robert, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Have they been able to resolve completely this fire that gutted the GBC's transmission station?
Hello? Yes, sir.
Yes, Robert, can you hear me? Robert Abilba, if you can hear me, I'm asking if the fire has been brought under control, and also what's the latest regarding that unfortunate incident?
Yeah, as I speak with you, this fire, then on the side are still grappling with the situation, because inside where the batteries are being installed, according to the batteries that are caused the issue.
Robert, kindly reposition yourself. Kindly reposition yourself so we can hear you clearly. The connection isn't great. If you can just shift yourself a bit, then you try again.
Hello?
Yes, it's better now.
Are you okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I understand the batteries are kept inside the container, and it is the batteries that has caused this.
All right. It seems we need to get a better connection to Robert Abilba there. Clearly, we can't have a good feedback. Hopefully, we can get that. Maybe it's also as a result of the development. A lot is happening in the Volta region as we speak today. And as I indicated, the president is still yet to address the Republic at the Independence Day celebration. And immediately he starts speaking, we'll try our best to bring you the feed to get to know what the president has for the nation. Stay with us. We have more for you after this break.
Have you ever wondered why your efforts to lose weight have yielded no results? Because you take too much advice from people who do not understand your body. 3FM has the best program for you. It's the 3FM Factor Fit 60-Day Weight Loss Challenge. We're tackling the problem from the inside out with well-curated diet plans and workout sessions made for you by our seasoned fitness coach. And we've also created an online support group to hype you along the journey. With discipline, we can do this together. Pick up your phone and call 0550-052-927 to register at a cool 200 Ghana Cities. 3FM Factor Fit. Lose weight the right way.
Factor Fit is sponsored by Duffy's Herbal Tea and Snatched Herbal Tea.
Why and the name Akumemun Sem? When me ebe ya adwene say Akumemun Sem de eye bebre hwese be me bi edi ni sika aboa oba bi nanso ene oba no eye nama Sapa pepenso ena oba bi a wote ba bi dwene ne ho be me bi bese ne pe na wodi na kuma nyina e ma no nanso so be ma no de oba yi akoma edi agro Enkura bi abo asesɛn esana wofo a wanti wani anhwɛ enkoda no enti enu nti ena Marcos menima bedwafo ye ka sɛ oba bi di wafo ha bi mu sɛ bɛma bi di wafo ha bi mu we ye oba sɛ awofo agyae wagyeje mu na wasɛdeɛ no wanya Fabra akomamu nsɛm dwumadie so na menima bedwafo entina so enu nti bɔmɔde na bra ɛyɛ akoma 87.9 FM yani yenuanom Onye TV efejumedie yi live efri awia dumienu abapon semaduanan 12:40 edikosi 3 p.m. ene edidwumedie brew adwoda edikosi fiada akomamu nsem eye interse.
When the sun rises, there is hope. While this hope lingers on, the citizens look up to the government, the economy, the national development agenda, and everything in between.
On Ghana Tonight, it's our utmost priority to bring you insightful conversations on the economy, break down the biggest issues while setting the agenda for transformation and national development. The big and important stories are treated from the human interest angle, while the facts and the figures are painted with precision. So now, let's cut the convention and start the conversation here on Ghana Tonight. I am your host, Alfred Okamsi.
Ghana Tonight shows Monday to Friday at 10 p.m. on TV3.
Commercial sex work is illegal in Ghana, but it persists, and not even its illegality and the dangers of the trade would stop some from daring even more for extra cash. In Sperm Merchants, Stanley Nibleu investigates the dastardly practice of the sale of sperm of unsuspecting clients by commercial sex workers to ritualists. But why do they do what they do?
50 million. And I paid the money, so I have to leave for my own.
Condom there no hotels are cleaners no. No me final akatom so mo paint so mo ye adwuma no mo pom mo to me yi into committing back on Jana one man tip kakra.
And what is the position of the law on such matters?
There is a fundamental principle in law that the Romans call it ex topi causa non orito axio.
Watch Sperm Merchants on the assignment on Wednesday, March 8, 2023 at 9 p.m. only on TV3 and across all social media platforms at TV3 Ghana.
When the Gold Coast successfully get our independence officially, Ghana is the name. We wish to proclaim we will be jolly and merry and gay. The 6th of March, Independence Day.
Welcome back to Midday Live on TV3. So we're going to take a sneak peek of what else is happening at Ho, the Volta regional capital, where this year the country is marking the 66th Independence Day anniversary from the capital of the Volta region. So we'll pick that feed immediately, where the police and security officers are marching in slow and quick time. You can see on your screen, Ghana is 66. So those are actually human beings who have lined up in a formation to put out that text of Ghana is 66. Very beautiful display of the soldiers. Let's listen into the feed as well. Then we'll come back to some other stories here on Midday Live.
Thus, the Navy male and female contingents have formed the word is. The number 5 contingent is an Air Force contingent commanded by Flight Lieutenant Precious Pojo Edu, with Flying Officer Nicodemus Atta and Flying Officer Samuel Entry as the supernumeraries. The contingent Sergeant Major is Sergeant Seshi Eric. They have formed the letter H. The female Ghana Air Force contingent has formed the letter G. They are under the command of Flight Lieutenant Nanama Amakwa Akwa. The supernumeraries are Flying Officer Doreen Naki Donko and Flying Officer Patience Nashome Soa. The contingent Sergeant Major is Warrant Officer Class 2 Obeng Sandra. Thus, the Air Force contingent has formed the word GH, which stands for Ghana. Therefore, we have Ghana is 66. Ghana is 66 years old today.
All right, so we'll be going back intermittently to also get to appreciate what's happening there, especially as we are waiting to hear from His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the President of the Republic. Let's go to some unfortunate news that came in earlier today. A gory accident between Kintampo and Babatokuma has claimed several lives. According to eyewitnesses, majority of the victims died on the spot. The Yendi Kumasi bound bus with registration number AS 463522, which had 52 passengers on board, crashed with a trailer truck with registration number GW 1127P carrying tiles. Although the cause of the accident is not yet known, eyewitnesses say the collision was as a result of the truck driver attempting to swerve a stationary truck. Survivors are receiving treatment at the Kintampo Hospital, while the bodies of the dead have been deposited at the Kintampo Government Hospital morgue. Very unfortunate and a terrible time to pass away as a Ghanaian, especially on the day that the country is celebrating 66 years of independence. And the news is that we are told well over 20 people lost their lives in the early hours of today following a gory accident that occurred between the Kintampo and Babatokuma highway. On your screens now are some of the footage we got moments after the accident. The ambulance service got there to try and, rescue a few people who were still trapped in the mangled vehicles, and those that have died have been removed and sent to the Kintampo morgue. Some are also receiving treatment. We are told at the Kentampo Government Hospital. Let's speak to our correspondent who has been following this story for us. We're yet to have a connection to him, but he updated us about the fact that the accident occurred as a result of a truck carrying tiles attempting to swerve another truck that was parked on the road, and by so doing there was a head-on collision with a bus which had about 52 people on board. About half of those who were in the bus have lost their lives, unfortunately, to the accident. And apologies for the images we're showing you on your screens, but that's the accident, very gory accident that happened earlier today. It's taking it off we apologize for some of those images, but it all just comes back to the fact that we all need to be very careful on our roads, especially when you're driving at night. You're still watching Midday Live. We're taking a quick breather. We are going on a break with a bit of the feed from Ho. Then we'll bring you sports right after that.
My ideal guy.
I'm attracted to sapiosexuals.
Oh, sapiosexuals. Cool.
The smart guy.
See, I am one.
What's your take for the constitutional review?
See, they are really disturbing. They are worrying. Review. Constitutional review. The call for a constitutional review is not a bad call.
Really?
At all. Especially in the light of the fact that some laws have outlived their usefulness.
It was just gentlemen. I think Afena-Gyan.
Afena-Gyan? Who doesn't know Afena-Gyan? Excellent footballer. Dangerous. Tactical.
There's this show on TV. It's a music show. Mentor.
I like Mentor. See, my family watches Mentor. Everybody. Hey, see, everywhere Mentor.
Where edition?
Eh?
Where edition?
Mentor's gonna take you higher.
Don't be clueless. Stay on top of issues with 3news.com and tune in to Media General's radio platforms on the go using 3news.com.
You are a major stakeholder in nation building. Your voice matters. Start your day with us.
We simplify the conversations, break down the jargons and technicalities. We keep you well informed throughout the week. Start your day with us.
Knowledge is power. We put you in the know of the happenings in Ghana and the world over. The main reason why you need to start your day with us.
We give the leaders the mandate to govern our affairs. We have a responsibility to hold them to account. It begins here. Start your day with us. Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. Welcome to Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
Start your day well informed. Start with us on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Catch the all-new Sunrise Morning Show with me, Johnny Hughes, Helen Apiampofo, William Asiedu,
and Noble Crosbyan.
Weekdays from 5:55 a.m. to 10 a.m. only on 3FM 92.7. Your urban lifestyle radio. Commercial sex work is illegal in Ghana, but it persists, and not even its illegality and the dangers of the trade would stop some from daring even more for extra cash. In Sperm Merchants, Stanley Nibleu investigates the dastardly practice of the sale of sperm of unsuspecting clients by commercial sex workers to ritualists. But why do they do what they do?
If somebody bring me Ghana, yes, I should come and use my vagina and pay 50 million. And I pay the money, so I have to leave for my own.
Condom there no hotels are cleaners no. no me fa na waka to so mo pe nti omo ye adwuma no mo po mo tumi yi into committee back on Jana one man tip kakra.
And what is the position of the law on such matters?
There is a fundamental principle in law that the Romans call it ex topi causa non orito axio.
Watch Sperm Merchants on the assignment on Wednesday, March 8, 2023 at 9 p.m. only on TV3 and across all social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Commercial sex work is illegal in Ghana, but it persists, and not even its illegality and the dangers of the trade would stop some from daring even more for extra cash. In Sperm Merchants, Stanley Nibleu investigates the dastardly practice of the sale of sperm of unsuspecting clients by commercial sex workers to ritualists.
Sperms in the baby man for it.
But why do they do what they do?
If somebody bring me Ghana, yes, I should come and my vagina and pay 50 million. And I pay the money, so I have to leave for my own.
Condom, there no hotels, cleaners, no me fa na waka to so mo pe nti omo ye adwuma no mo po mo tumi yi into committee back on Jana one man tip kakra.
And what is the position of the law on such matters?
There is a fundamental principle in law that the Romans call it ex topi causa non orito axio.
Watch Sperm Merchants on the assignment on Wednesday, March 8, 2023 at 9 p.m. only on TV3 and across all social media platforms at TV3 Ghana.
When the Gold Coast successfully get our independence officially, Ghana is the name. We wish to proclaim we will be jolly and merry and gay. The 6th of March, Independence Day.
All right, so we are clearly in the celebratory mode of Ghana's Independence Day, and time now for Sports on Midday Live. Joining me in studio is Oriko. You're looking very resplendent in your blue kente with gold bling bling. Yeah. So anyway, how's the day going so far?
Well, it's been good. It's more or less, the postmortem of the Heart of Oak versus Kotoko game. We have one region celebrating from yesterday up until today. It was a special game yesterday. Okay. But there were concerns about the fan turnout, though. Not so great.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. So you give us the other stories we have in sports today.
And so we'll be starting off with the round 20 of the Ghana Premier League, which also doubled as the President's Cup. A Kunodi Adom header ensured that Accra Heart of Oak defeated Kumasi Asante Kotoko at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday to claim all 3 points and also win the President's Cup.
Onto the part of Bayfi. That's what to find York. Here's Linda Mtange. There was an initial foul on Bayfi. It was Infege who brought him down, and Lamte came in with a late challenge.
Strong challenge it was from the Kotoko midfielder.
Mtange lines up to deliver, and then he sends one in. It's a header, and it's an opening goal. Clearly, Yadom put the Phobians ahead. The delivery from Linda Mtange was brilliant, and the header from Knedu.
Knedu using his height to advantage. He also realized that Danlad Ibrahim was off his mark, so had to position his header quite very well. There you saw he had eyes on the target, picked his spot very well. The Phobians are up in glory.
Station of medals. Asante Kotoko, the losers will take their losers medals. There you see Linda Mtange proudly displaying the flag of the DRC. Now Victor Edu takes his turn. His Excellency Mukhtar Sissoko and President Akufo-Addo present the trophy to Eric Esso, and Esso has lifted it. Hearts of Oak as 6-time champions of the President's Cup.
And so we do have Heart of Oak in celebratory mood. Their fans, especially after the game, were really excited by the victory. However, on the other side, fans of the Porcupine Warriors left the stadium extremely disappointed. Let's take a look at some of their fan reactions at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday.
We kept reiterating this all this while, that the players didn't want to play for the coach and that they should change the coach. It's the same players you've been seeing all this while, but you saw different tenacity, you saw different aggression, you saw different commitment.
I think it's quite unfortunate we couldn't win this game. Looking at the game, we play well from second half to the second half. We play well, but you know this is Heart of Oak. Playing Heart of Oak in terms of cup game, Charlie. It's a different ball together. So we thank God the game ends successfully. They played the 3 points, so that's all.
Oh, I might say, I'll say yes, because looking at today's game, the guys really played out their heart out.
The masters.
So I think the coach has to go.
It was really nice. This is the first time that we come to see a match here in Ghana, and it was very interesting. People were very happy. And we enjoy it.
It's indeed all smiles for Accra Heart of Oak, who win the President's Cup and also go above Kumasi Asante Kotoko in the Ghana Premier League to 4th. That's how we'll be wrapping up the sports here. If you do want some more sports stories, you can follow our Twitter handle at 3sportsgh. My name is Ore Kwampo. Do have a fantastic holiday. Up next on the bulletin is entertainment.
Still mid-alive on TV3. Let's find out what's happening in the world of entertainment, where the 2020-2021 music calendar year birthed so many incredible music talents. Some, however, cannot be said about the 2022 year, as fewer musicians made a big impact on the scene. Some showbiz pundits say that they want entertainment platforms to be intentional about helping to discover new talent and stop over-focusing on the already established ones. Owusu Warai has the rest in this story.
2020 and 2021 were great years for Ghana musically. After years of serving the underground world and putting in hard work, a good number of talents shot to prominence. Yaw Tog, Jackie, Kofi Jamal, Kamido, Kweku Flake and many others got their breakthrough and made a big impact with their songs. Man of the Moment, Black Sherif gaining popularity with his hit single First Sermon released in May 2021. So, what did 2022 bring? We asked some industry folks to help us with some names, and it was Wahala.
Okay, last May, and I would say, who again? Black Sherif?
No, he came from 2021.
2021, Black Sherif was 2021. But it was 20. Okay. No, it was 2021. Hey! You know,
up the head in 2022, I think I can mention Last
year, as in 2022, not much.
The music market in Nigeria, on the other hand, always churns out countless talents each passing year.
We don't know the Nigerian artists when they blow, but we listen to them.
But they keep coming. Almost every year, they have fresh talents to show.
And then we keep listening to them.
Who is to blame for Ghanaian talents not showing a good presence in 2022?
All right, so that'll be it for the bulletin. And if you go to our website, 3news.com, you get an update of all the stories we brought to you and several others. However, we are going back to hold the Volta Regional Capital to enjoy and experience some of the displays by some military and security agencies there, as we all await to hear what President Akufo-Addo has for the Republic of Ghana as we mark 66 years of post-colonial rule. Enjoy the rest of the day. Happy holidays. My name is Martin Esiedu Dati.